Swasti Narstat Nemihi Swasti no Brahaspatir Dadatu Om Shanti Shanti Shanti. Sorry, I didn't realize I was on mute, but I hope all of you are chanting together on mute. Sabbrahma Sashivasendra
Sabbrahma Sashivasendra
Sokshara Paramaswarat
Sokshara Paramaswarat
Sa Eva Vishnu Sapranah
Sa eva Vishnu
Sakalo Gnisha Chandramaha
Sakalo Chandrama
Sa Eva Sarvam Yadbhutam
Yadbhutam
Yaccha Bhavyam Sanatanam
Savyam
Yatva Tam Mrityumatyeti
Jnatam Mrityimatyeti
Sarva Bhutasthamaatmanam
Nanya Pantha Vimuktaye
Vimuktaye Sarva Bhutasthamaatmanam Sarva Bhutani Chatmani
Sarvabhutani Chatmani
Sampashyan Brahma Paramam
Sampashyan Brahma Paramam
Yati Nanyena Hetuna
Yati Yena Hetuna.
That Pratyashrami, having gone through the process of preparation and then Nididhyasanam, Shravanam, Mananam, Nididhyasanam, understands the reality of the self, that everything is I. So to him, the statement, you are the cause of everything here, including your own body, makes a lot of sense. Therefore, he is understood. Evam dhyatva, anyatva. Having known, having understood, he is able to pronounce, like Lord Krishna, everything here is I. I caused everything to happen. I sustain everything, and into me everything resolves. Every form, tangible and intangible, is I. Starting from the first Sharira, Brahmaji himself. What an amazing statement for Brahmaji to make. That form that you see, I am in, is only I. I am because I am Brahman. I am consciousness. I am Chaitanyam. And from this Chaitanyam, everything starting from Brahmaji with a form, the Prathamaja, seems to be created. The Brahmaji we know with the form, part of the Trinity. Brahma, Vishnu, Maheshwara. Brahma with its own form, Vishnu with its own form, Shiva with his own form. All of them are nothing but that formless I. Chaitanya. So in the first line of it says, Sa Brahma, Sa Shivaha, Sa Indraha, Saha. Who is Saha? That Munihi, Atyashrami. He knows I am the Brahmaji with the form. I am the Vishnu with the form, doing Shayanam and yet sustaining the entire Jagat. So he says, I am Brahma, Saha Brahma, he is the Brahma. Brahmaji here. And he's also the Vishnu, which says in the other line. He is also Shiva. With all that form, the body wrapped in snake and wrapped in tiger skin with Gangaji flowing from his hair, with the damaru, with all that he holds in the hand, with ashes from the Smashana garden all over him. So everything has a form. All these forms are only I, because they are part of the Mithya Jagat. Saha Brahma. He's telling Arshavidyalaya, I'm sitting there in front of him. So you see me, no? I'm Brahma, you know my form. You are I. Because you've done all that needs to be done. You've exposed yourself to the pramana with the help of teacher. That teacher is Brahmaji. I am now telling you, you are Brahmaji. I am not telling you anymore. You have understood. Hopefully, that you are Brahmaji. You are also Vishnu. You are also Shiva. You are every Devata, represented by Indra. I don't think the Indra has represented any form per se, but a lot of Puranic stories are there on him. As the Lord of the Indraloka, of all the Devatas. That's Lord Indra, and therefore all the Devatas are also you. Later he will say, Sarva Bhutastam Atma. That Atma, I, Chaitanyam, is all there is. Everything apparently is created. Every Devata. Because he is Aksharaha. Naksharati. Soksharaha. Saha Aksharaha. Saha Paramaha. Utkrishtaha. There is nothing else. It's ultimate. And he is the one, that you are Akshara, Paramaha, in the form of all these Devatas. You make the existence of everything, starting from Brahmaji downwards, everything possible. What makes you possible? I don't need anything to make myself possible. I am. That am, if isness, is that which causes everything to happen. Swarat. Vayameva rajate. Doesn't require another source. We saw earlier Parameshvara. Doesn't require another Lord. Anishvara. Having said all this, that you are the formless Akshara, you are Paramaha, you are Swarat, who appears in the form of Brahmaji, Vishnu, Maheshwara, all the Devatas and all the Bhutas, all the Jivas down there, and in any other lokas which we don't know about. All of them are you. Because Saha eva Vishnuhu. Vishnuhu can be derived from two different dhatus. Vish dhatu and Vish dhatu. Vish is to enter, praveshne. Vish is vyaptau. It is variously, you can see it in whichever way you want to see it. Taittiriya Upanishad says, having done the shrishti of everything, pravishat, he enters everything. There is no creation. Because of this presence of you, Chaitanyam, everything seems to be. It is symbolically said, pravishat, enters from Pash Dhatu. Vishnu also means Sarvavyapi. Sarvavyapi has to be understood. For us, anything Sarvavyapi is like space. That Sarvavyapi that we are talking about, Vishnu, space is also that Vishnu. So, that Vishnu, which pervades everything, because without which there is nothing else. So these are all ways of presenting it, that's all. Sometimes you say in Sakshi, very presence of that Chaitanya makes everything possible. Manaso Manaha. But sometimes you say, he created and entered. There is no creation. We've seen this before. That elusive quality called Maya. Brahman consciousness does nothing. How can Brahman create? Therefore, we give him another Shakti called Prakriti, called Maya. Prakrishena Kari Samarthyam Yasya Asti. Creation. As though creation. And having said all this, at the end of it, we say, there is no creation. There is no Maya. In the realm of consciousness, there is nothing else. So you, as though, create another level of existence. And there where starts with Maya. And everything that comes from there. So having said Soksharaha, Paramaha, Swarat, all of them implying that Nirguna Brahman. So eva Vishnu. There is nothing else. Kevalam Vishnu, that which pervades all in the Jagat. Sapranaha. Vishnu, which is not bound by anything, like I said, cannot be bound by anything because it is everything. Not even time and space. In the Jagat, everything is bound by time and space. He is born, deteriorates, and is no more. whether it is a prana, sentient being, or not. So this Vishnu is Desha Kala Vastu Anavachinna. That Vishnu, you take the Vish Dhatu, Veveshti, belongs to the third Gana, Juhotyadi Gana. Therefore, you will get a duplication. Veveshti. It has the capacity, Vyapnashilaha, capacity to pervade everything. It pervades everything. It is everything. You use, unfortunately, a word like pervades everything, so immediately think of, if you put a liquid in a bottle, it pervades the whole bottle. No, there is no containment. It is everything. Upavishat, we've seen in Bhagavad Gita. Eva muktvarjuno sankhye ratostama upavishat. It also comes from the same Vish Dhatu. So either Vish Praveshani or Vish Yaptav. This working with the form, working with the form, but for the formless. One of the things we see in Vishnu, we see in the Shaligrama, Shankha Chakra, and represents Vishnu, because Vishnu carries Shankha Chakra in the arm. But really what we're saying is that Shaligrama is also pervaded by Vishnu, like everything else. But symbolically we use it for puja. So that formless is all that is there, and that this Munihi Yatyashami is understood. And all the others who are trying to understand, stay one step below, saying Vishnu with form, Shiva with form. And seek the grace of that form to understand the you that I'm worshipping, the I who is worshipping you, both are nothing but that one Chaitanya. The worshipper with its own Sharira, the worshipped with its own Sharira that you assign to it, are both the Nirguna Chaitanya. To understand that, we seek the grace of that Saguna Brahman. Sa Vishnuhu, Sa Pranaha. Every being here is that same Vishnu. Sa Kalaha. We understand I am the change principle. Time means change. Everything changes. That's why they say time and doesn't wait for anybody. Time waits for none. Because change keeps happening all the time. That change principle is also I. The principle of time, where something is born in one time and then another time it keeps changing, and at another time changes form completely. That Kalaha, that time is also the same Chaitanya. Sa Vishnuhu, sa Pranaha, sa Kalaha, sa Agnihi. Also sa Surya, you can say. Same thing. Sa Chandrama. We said Trilochanam, one interpretation for that is Surya, Agni and Chandrama. That which burns everything and that which cools everything. This is Sa Kalaha, Sa Agnihi, Sa Chandramaha. You can go on saying that Manana Shilaha is the mosquito that's biting you. That Manana Shilaha is that mountain height of you. That Manana Shilaha is the asanam you're sitting on. That Manana Shilaha is every animal, every pakshi, every tree, every blade of grass. How far will you go on saying all this? Brahmaji decided, done enough to make Ashwayana understand and hopefully us understand. He said, Sa eva sarvam. Finished it saying, everything is that Chaitanyam. When he recognizes the self, the Atma as Chaitanyam, everything is just that Chaitanyam. What about what was in the past? It is also the same Chaitanya. And what they will be in the future tomorrow, also Chaitanya. The clay that was, that became pot, that became shards, that became powder, that became clay again. All the way through it is nothing but the same Chaitanya. The child who is born of Chaitanya. The child who grows, goes through the Shadvikara. Asti jayate, vardate, parinamate, apakshiyate, and vinashyati. Becomes young person, old person, and eventually dies. The body dies. After which the body becomes Panchabhuta. All of them are nothing but the Chaitanya. Today the child is a child, is Chaitanya. Tomorrow the child become a young man, is Chaitanya. Later it become an old man, Chaitanya. Later the body will die, Chaitanya. There is nothing other than Chaitanya. Yad bhutam yaccha bhavyam. Sanatanam. One of the easy translations of Sanatanam is that which always was, is, and always will be. But in that definition, we are still putting it within time, whether it's past, present, or future, within time. Sanatanam is that which is not limited by time. We call our dharma Sanatana Dharma. There is no starting point for the dharma. It's a cycle. Dharma creates, the Sanatana Dharma recognizes that time itself has been created as though by Chaitanya. So the Chaitanyam is the original cause. That recognition of Chaitanyam as I is the jnanam, is mukti. Therefore, you cannot date Sanatana Dharma. You will read everywhere that some scholars have dated this as 10,000 years old. This is not a pyramid that you can date it. You can't do carbon dating on Chaitanya. Carbon is because of Chaitanya. The dating methodology is because of Chaitanya. How are we going to do carbon dating? Swami was telling us once that one of the New Age Christians were arguing that the world is only 3,000 years old. We say it's Sanatana. It is Pravaha. Kalpa after kalpa after kalpa after kalpa, same thing goes, comes again, goes, comes again, goes, comes again. So he argued there's only 3,000 years old. So Swami told him, in India, there are temples which are more than 3,000 years old. How do you justify that? Why go to India? In California, the redwood trees were 10,000 dated, carbon dated, 10,000 years old. But that fellow was not stumped. Huh? He told Swami G, God is all powerful. If he wants, he can create this Jagat 3,000 years ago and put 10,000 years old thing in this 3,000 year old Jagat. You can't argue with him. So he put redwood trees, which are more than 10,000 years old, in a 3,000 year old Jagat. You cannot date Sanatana. Any dating of anything implies that it is bound by time. Even space, scientists are still struggling. What is the limit of space? No scientist is able to tell you. All they've been able to figure out is that space is expanding at an increasing rate. My question is, at this time, space is here. Tomorrow, it's going to expand to this. What is outside of space? Space is expanding. In what is it expanding? I don't think science has an answer yet. If space is expanding, means space is limited. So outside of space, what is there? This is where we have to depend on another source of knowledge. Space, time, every vastu comes from this Chaitanyam, is maintained by this Chaitanyam, resolves back into Chaitanyam. A kalpa is a huge circle. How can you put a starting point on that kalpa? Oh no, Swami. At some point it must have started. That is the way our brain thinks. Which is why it's difficult to understand a concept like Trikala Atitaha. Trikala Atitaha. If there is a past extending this way and a future extending this way, what is beyond that? Atitaha means beyond that, transcending that. That which transcends all three time slots, past, present, and future. Who understands this? Yashami, who has gone through the process of preparation, who has done adequate Shravanam, Mananam, and Nididhyasanam, who having done Dhyanam, Dhyatva, Munihi gacchati Brahma yonim. Muni understands I as Brahma yoni. Therefore he says, Sayeva sarvam yad bhutam yadcha bhavyam sanatanam. He says, yad bhutam. That is what is past. Yach bhavyam. What is going to come in the future? Where is present? Really speaking, there is nothing called the present. What is the present? We don't know. When we use words like at present, it is like this. I mean, in the kshanam, this moment. And what is the length of that moment? Things are happening so rapidly in subatomic levels, then you can't measure it in 1 second. So you break it down to microseconds and nanoseconds and picoseconds. But it's still an interval. Where is now? There is no now. You must live in the present, is what we are taught. Where is the present? But for us to understand that there are 3 kalas, why hasn't it put present here? Bhutam, bhavyam. But there's a chakara. When you typically it is expressed like that. The chakara indicates present also. A present which, if you analyze, doesn't even exist. Yad bhutam, yat cha bhavyam. Because it is sanatana. There is no time in consciousness. We know time is relative. We know our mind plays tricks on us as far as time is concerned. From here to New York is long distance, distance-wise. But relative to what? Relative to from Coimbatore to Anikatti. New York is a long way off. But New York is very close relative to how far the sun is. So what is this near far distance? Space is also relative. Time is also relative. If you put some water into the kettle to boil, you keep waiting, it doesn't boil. It takes a long time. Or milk, let's take milk. But if you put milk to boil, let me quickly attend to something and come back. Before you come back, it's boiled. How did it boil so quickly? Last time I boiled milk, I was standing in front of it. It won't boil, it won't boil, it won't boil. All relative. The fellow who is waiting for his girlfriend for lunch at 1 o'clock keeps looking at his watch every 2 minutes. She hasn't come. She cometh not. She cometh not. Whereas doing something else, time simply vanishes. My God, I wish I had another 24 hours in the day. It went so fast. Time is relative. Space is relative. We know that. Our Shastras tell us that. Both time and space, there are scales which are given, which looked at from perspective of what you're looking at changes. If Brahmaji is one day is very different from your one day in my one day. Where ours are 24 hours, Brahmaji's one day is one Pura Kalpa, millions and millions and millions of earth years. I don't remember the exact number. Time is relative, space is relative, because they are all created. From where? From that Sanatana Vastu. That Sanatana Vastu I have to understand as I. I am that Mananashilaha who, having understood this, evam yatva, gets everything. What a statement to me. The Muni Gachati Bhuta Yonim, Samasta Sakshim Tamasa Parasta. Past the idea of knowledge and ignorance, darkness and light, dharma, adharma, punya, papa. No such thing exists. Therefore, he said, he's all the forms of devatas. He is the formless devata. He is all pervading. He is Trikalatitaha. Therefore, that's where Saha Brahma, Saha Vishnu, Saha Indraha, Saha Aksharaha, Saha Paramaha, Saha Swarat, Saheva Vishnu, Saha Pranaha, Saha Kalaha, Saha Agnihi, Chandrama, Saheva Sarvam. Yatva tam mrityumatyeti. Tam yatva, knowing that, knowing what? Aham sarvam. Tam yatva mrityum atyeti. Mrityu is what? That which is bound by time and space. That is mrityu. Because mrityu implies janma. End, beginning. End and beginning. All these are within the time-space continuum only. When he recognizes I as being not limited by time and space, then mrityum atyeti. There is recognition of the nature of I. Such a person is called a jnani. That jnani, because he is jnanam, he is a mukta purusha. Jnanam eva moksha. I will attain moksha. Like I know some people say this. I got an inspiration. I gain jnanam, I gain moksha. You cannot do that, my friend. It is not possible. Only knowing that I am not bound. Remember we said, think I am bound is a notion. Like the snake on the rope. There is no snake. There's a notion that there's a snake on the rope. And jnanam doesn't remove the snake. Jnanam only removes the notion, wrong notion of the snake. Because there was no snake to remove to begin with. There is no binding. But I have a notion that I'm bound. That notion has to be removed only through jnanam. Knowing I am not bound. I cannot be bound. Bound with what? not time, not space, not any vastu. Nanya pantha vimuktaye, for mukti, for gaining moksha, is the only way. Jnanam is the only way. You cannot say, I am a great bhakta and I will gain moksha. You are a great bhakta, wonderful. You will be blessed. You will be blessed for what? One, to have a life which is pleasant here, a life hereafter, amutra, also very pleasant, for a length of time. It's all within time still. From that, other loka, Shine Punye, Martyaloke, Vishanti. Again, that same dhatu. Vish dhatu. Vishanti comes back, enters Martyaloka. But it will also have one more effect. That worshipping, that bhakti, that devotion will produce the grace of Ishvara. As long as I'm not doing it for any limited karma. Will produce that punya, that type of punya, which is Ishvara's grace, with which one will have access to this knowledge, one will have access to a guru, and then, having prepared oneself so well, one can gain moksha simply by gaining understanding that I am already Mukta Purusha. I don't have to become Mukta. I am Mukta Purusha. And if you are a Mukta Purusha, and you are the only thing that there is, how do you view everything? How do you recognize everything? Swamiji, whether I'm a Mukta Purusha or not, the other fellow exists. The other fellow curses me all the time. My wife keeps nagging me all the time. But if you're a Mukta Purusha, there is no other. So who is nagging you? There is no other. Because Sarva Bhutastam Sarva Bhutani cha Atmani. Wonderful construction. Sarva Bhutastham. Being in every bhuta. Sarva Bhute, Sarveshu Bhuteshu Sthitaha. Bhutastham. And bhuta here can be Panchamaha Bhuta. It can also be in every being. That Atma Chaitanyam. Sarva Bhutastam Atmanam. Sarva Bhutani cha Atmani. Nice construction. Sarva Bhutani is every Bhuta, plural. Atmani, in the Atma. Both have to be said. Both, one has to say, because otherwise there's no resolution. If we say Sarva Bhutastam Atman, stop there. Atma is in every Bhuta. Sure. I have Atma, you also have Atma. The two Atmas meet, shake hands, say hello. There's only one Atma in which everything as though exists. There has to be resolution. Everything has to be in only one Atma. Like that which pervades everything. Sutre Manigana Iva. You may not see it. In every gold ornament, you see gold. But gold and gold ornament are within the same order of reality. They are both Nitya. They are both objects. Sutra and Mani, beads, are both objects. I can move the beads and see the sutra. But when you're talking about two different orders of reality, Sarva Bhutani Chatmani, every Bhuta is in that Atma. Our mind immediately works to say that there is something called Atma, and on that another Bhuta is there. There is no such thing. They are different orders of reality. You say it resolves into Atma. What resolves into what? There are not two things to resolve. Every day, when we go to sleep in the night, or like some other people sleep during the day also, you resolve. It's called Nityalaya. Everything resolves. There is nothing. There is no Sthula Sharira. There is no Sukma Sharira. Everything is gone into Laya. But what happens in the morning? Everything comes back. What about Mahapralaya? In Mahapralaya, in this daily Pralaya, individual Vyashti Laya takes place. In the Mahapralaya, the entire Samashti goes into Pralaya. But even here, everything comes back. That is why you cannot put a finger on saying it starts here. A new kalpa starts here. But it is not a new kalpa, it is the same kalpa reappearing, remanifesting. So here also everything comes back. Whatever was reappears. That's all. Now you see it, now you don't. Now you see it, now you don't. But there's something called the Atyanta Pralaya. What is Atyanta Pralaya? In the other two Pralaya, everything disappears and reappears. In Atyanta Pralaya, through all this process that Arshavidyalaya has been taught by Brahmaji, he recognizes everything as being Nitya. There is no physical laya taking place, simply an understanding that all these are non-self-existing. Therefore, there is no disappearing and reappearing. So when that Atyantalaya takes place, the Jnani still sees the entire Jagat. Jagat doesn't disappear and reappear. There's nothing to disappear. It doesn't even exist. That's a big difference between The other two types of laya, nitya laya, you go to sleep, you wake up, and everything reappears. In Mahapralaya, everything resolves into the Brahman, reappears. In Jnanam, it is simply a recognition that I am the satvastu. I am not this body, mind, sense. That body, mind, sense that I have been identifying with all this time is part of the Mithya Jagat. Non-self-existing. The best definition of Mithya. Everything in the Jagat is non-self-existing. For everything you can assign a karana, till you keep going, till you come to the only drik. And that drik I am. So nothing disappears, nothing reappears. And yet this is called the atyanta pralaya. A simple recognition of the fact that nothing exists on its own. It says, Sarva bhutastam atmanam, sarva bhutani chatmani. In the Bhagavad Gita, it says, Ikshate yoga yuktatma. Sampashyan, Ikshate yoga yuktatma. He sees everything as the same. That yoga yuktatma, the one who sees the meaning of the first line. Sarva bhutastham atmanam, sarva bhutani cha atmani. Because in the atyanta pralaya, when he recognizes the nature of I, he understands I am that only vastu, and I am achintyam, avyaktam, not available for any objectification. Then how do I know I? Do you know you exist? Yes. Of course I exist. Therefore, you know you are. You don't need another torchlight to see you. You need a light to see your body and your body. But you don't need anything to see I. I know I exist. What I don't know is what is the nature of I. So all that this Pramana tells us is not revealing you the fact that you exist. Nobody can deny it. But the nature of that I is what it Pramana is trying to tell us. Therefore, even though it's achintyam, avyaktam, it's a self-revealing I. Which, if they were unknown, it can never be known. You will be in blissful ignorance forever. It's like saying, there's pitch darkness, I can't see the rope, nor do I see a snake. But in partial light, I see something, and on that I put a snake, superimpose a snake, and say, the snake, snake, snake. When the light is switched on, I see the rope, I don't see the snake. We are generally in the second state. I know something is there, I know I am. But since I don't know what I am, I impose all kinds of things on I and say I'm limited, I'm mortal, I'm fat, I'm happy, I'm unhappy, I'm intelligent, I'm ignorant. All of that. Sarvabhutastam sarvabhutani chatmani. Sampashyan, samyak pashyan. Having seen this, Brahma paramam yati. There is no gaining Brahma paramam. Utkrishta Brahman. There's only one Brahman. That's you. Brahma paramam yati. Nanyena etuna. There is no other way of gaining this. Again, he's repeating. He said, Nanya pantha vimuktaye. Nanyena hetuna. By no other means, no other karanam can you figure this out. Only when that knowledge arises because of all this that you've done, therefore the vision is absolutely clear. Sampashyan. That Munihi Brahma Paramam Yati. No other cause, no other method, no other path is available for this knowledge, which is moksha. With this, Brahmaji's Upadesha is complete. But he still goes on. The Shastra knows, having said this once, however good the Guru might be, however good the Shishya might be, it doesn't register. You have to examine it again and again and again. So having done Shravanam, one has to do a lot of Mananam, which will start on tomorrow. Om Purnamada Purnamidam Purnat Purnamudachyate Purnasya Purnamadaya Purnameva Vashishyate Om
Shanti. Hari Om. Hey Gurubhyo Namaha. Hari Om.